challenges India will be facing this post-COVID, post-pandemic?
I'd firstly like to thank ASSOCHAM, which is India's oldest, leading, largest apex chamber of commerce and industry, for trusting me to come and talk about today the Atmanirbhar Bharat. I feel honored and to be doing this with ASSOCHAM, of course, but also to be born in an India of 2020. I'm born in a country in a time where, amidst a pandemic, we create an industry, an economic opportunity worth 8,000 crores overnight as a solution to a problem we have at hand. That, to begin with, I think only goes to show our academic vigilance, our agility, our ability to turn adversity into an advantage. And as it is, I think us Indians are very, very famous for kuch bhi ho jaye, hum Indians are just kar hi lete hain. I think with that attitude going forward, in a time where the world is bent towards looking for ways to strengthening their economy as one of the top priorities alongside fighting coronavirus, amongst multiple achievements, I think India, say for example, has shifted 6 production lines from China to India to cater to Apple's export demands, and we've gone out to bring in about $5 billion of manufacturing, and we're looking at production now. So for me, I want to start by saying that Atmanirbhar Bharat, apart from being our Prime Minister's vision, something that we've been working on pre-pandemic, in fact, we've been working on Make in India, we're working on Vocal for Local. I'm actually wearing a local artisan today called Boozy Button. She's a woman entrepreneur, and I'm really proud to be wearing her for this. But it's not just a marketing tool for me. I think for me, whether or not you're a Modi supporter, and of course, I'm going to set the record by saying I am a big supporter for Modi ji. I think for the government, I get very excited and inspired to be led by a man whose vision, whose diligence, whose intelligence is not just short-sighted. He's looking at the future. He's talking about women empowerment. There are, grants and schemes for women, and not just for women, but he's actually promoting the youth right from the beginning. We've got these packages that he's issued, which are about $260 billion, the stimulus package for reviving the Indian economy, the industries, the talent. I think with that in mind, Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India, becomes non-negotiable. For us, I think India has the opportunity to become Sone ki Chidiya again, with over 65% of our population being under the age of 35. Our talent, our knowledge, our pool of information, a large chunk of our expertise in our adult population, people who are now going back from gray hair to making them black again to, look like the youth, because it's such an exciting time to be alive in India, coupled with, like I said, the stimulus package that has come through. Innovation, identification, promotion of industries and sectors where it has potential and capability to scale up and globally become competitive is now our single largest obligation to the country. Of course, for ourselves, because we're looking at survival, it's not an easy time. But for our families living in different parts of the world, for supporting, the Indians across the world. And I also think more now for the sake of humanity, because personally, I think if COVID has taught us anything to us humans, is that it's bolstered and retold us that despite our nationality, our gender, our age, our strata in the society, we're as vulnerable. Our fears are identical. And so, as global citizens with access to the above, understanding, because a lot of us are educated to be able to understand that the world after the pandemic is going to be poor. It is perhaps going to be precarious. It is going to be disorderly globally. And so, the need to innovate, but I'm going to add here, the need to innovate with a purpose, I reckon, then becomes imperative. We need to understand what is it that we're making, why is it going to help society, who are we serving, when will we, when will it become ready to be a part of the society, and how is it going to make our country self-reliant? For myself, I think I'm going to share with you the platform, which I'm super, super grateful. Of course, I'm very proud of it today because it started off as a dream for becoming, accessible, affordable, anywhere healthcare, critical healthcare to rural India. ApnaDr was a dream that started off before the pandemic. And I'm so grateful that I can be useful to my country at a point where India is looking at healthcare and its frontline workers. And it's becoming a bigger reality now, because we've got this team led by the man who gave India the PAN card. We've got that team running ApnaDr. We'll not only be able to provide healthcare to rural India, but we're also being able to provide virtual healthcare at a time where we can't actually go to hospitals. And while we're focusing on this pandemic, we've got, like I said, Mr. R.K. Bajaj, who's the next IRS who gave India the PAN card. We've got global investors now. And more importantly, we've got expert doctors who have shown so much faith and so much love when they reach out to these people who have so far had no healthcare whatsoever. We've been able to mend this broken ladder of Indian healthcare using technology. Our prime aim is to use simple tools of technology such as telemedicine, video conference, e-appointments to offer remote access and healthcare services through a robust and a resilient program. I get inspired just learning every day how there were things I took for granted as a woman. Women health, our ease to access just sanitary napkins and tampons, and this is just peripheral level concern that I'm talking about. When I work with mother and child care now, connecting pregnant women to a gynac, to an expert, is a luxury. Forget that, they know prenatal, postnatal. They don't know basics about personal hygiene, and it sickens me. It completely gets me to the gut that they feel that basic things like, massive pain or death due to deliveries, or not having any medication. Sometimes that more often than not they deliver at home, but very often when they need help, they go to a physician who is a male, which is already a concern for them as women who are living in the rural area where they have still follow the parda system sometimes. And they go to this guy who just wings it. He's just winging births because they don't have access to female doctors or gynacs or experts. And then they normalize these things down generations. So if you talk to them, they'll be like, yeah, this is normal. My mother died in birth and that was normal. So the fact is that while our platform can offer that service to them, and it makes me very grateful, I've also realized over time that as an educated citizen to my country, it becomes my duty to at least read, government schemes that are coming out. Like, for example, the government has launched the Poshan scheme for women who are about to deliver. They can get a certain amount of money while they're pregnant to take care of themselves and after. And even as an educated citizen, if I can read this and I can share this with, say, one woman forward, and she can share this in her network, she can share this information with her child, and this goes down generations, I empower myself by empowering them. And that helps me make women Atmanirbhar. I think for me, they always say there is always a strong woman behind a successful man. I think there's also going to have to be that need now where we start propagating that there will have to be a strong man behind every woman, because otherwise India will not become Atmanirbhar. So I'm going to, like, of course, talk about this if there are any questions about that. But that is our platform, which I'm super proud of and happy to share with. And I think I'm going to go on to also say that the need to make again, it's going to go back because there is always this, humongous dialogue and debate and this negative narrative which we're stuck in as a society with our preconceived religious, political mindsets that we can't afford to break out of. We have to be more relevant. I think 70%, like I said, our population lives in the rural parts. 65% of our population is under 35. And if we can believe in their talent, if we can reach out to them using technology, if we can promote Make in India, Vocal for Local, Ayushman Bharat, all these things that I know a majority of us don't appreciate because they don't like the person who's talking to them. They may or may not have to believe in that government. But the truth of the matter is that, like I said again, it's non-negotiable. As a country, at least to us privileged ones who can afford the luxury of quarantine, it is our duty to be responsible because we can afford healthcare. I work in healthcare and I can guarantee you that the risk we put our vendors, our farmers, our drivers, our police forces, our hospital staff, doctors, nurses, by just being selfish, by just saying, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, that attitude of चलता है, हम कर सकते हैं ये. We don't realize that if we lose these people at that level of our society and at that pyramid, India will not revive. We do not have scope for coming back. We do not have scope for any revival whatsoever. Jitna bhi money government dale, if we're not going to be responsible, we're not going to be able to come back and survive this pandemic. So I would highly recommend that we support, like I said, make in India opportunities. I definitely feel like if we can inform, educate, use technology, and reach out on the masses, we will make everybody Atmanirbhar by making them realize that if we don't let our pride prevent us in lending a helping hand when we can to upcoming ventures, if we invest in India, if we invest in this talent, invest in our youth, because I have had the opportunity, like you mentioned in the introduction, to work with these students, with the Obama Foundation, with multiple universities that I've worked with, IIT Bombay, NITI, Raisoni, NDIM, Chitkaras in Chandigarh, all of those absolutely brilliant talent. And I think if we can show faith in collaboration, there is no one stopping us. And my favorite concern of women empowerment, I'm going to say this because I say this all the time, that women who wish to be Atmanirbhar are Atmanirbhar. We find our ways, we find relationships, we find ecosystems to work in. We don't actually sacrifice, contrary to popular belief. We women find our ways. And the world has very many good people who support us women. I think we need to invest in finding those people. Having said that, India, I feel like, is slowly, and well, not even that slowly, becoming more open to women in a workforce. Our problem is not so much women empowerment. I reckon it's not even the participation that we lack. We don't even have any problems in the intent of women coming forward. I personally feel India lacks the infrastructure for women's safety, which is what keeps us away from schools, which is what keeps us away from our jobs. More often than not, we're not even safe at home. So that is a burning concern we should address while we're still discussing and debating women empowerment. Because I personally have worked with women. I am Atmanirbhar. I'm privileged, of course. I'm raised by an Atmanirbhar woman. I've worked with Atmanirbhar women. I'm wearing an Atmanirbhar woman. And I think with COVID, you'll realize so many women have now appeared online with the talent that they have. Our women are equipped, I reckon. They're intelligent, they're employable, as are our men, and vice versa. So there is no debate about that. But I think our problem is our mindset, which needs to change. आई थिंक दिस होल खानदान, हमारी परंपरा, हमारे संस्कार में औरतें काम नहीं करती, आइडियल बेटीज घर बैठती हैं, डॉटर इन लॉज वर सो एजुकेटेड पर वो काम पे नहीं जाएंगी. I think that unfortunate breed needs to change. So good luck if you're living with them or are those people. We need to change you. We need to address them as a concern. But I don't think we need schemes and grants. I think we need more women to support women. And when I say that, I mean that we need to go back to the basics of educating and investing in our boys and girls and our men and women equally to have an Atmanirbhar country and to be able to be self-reliant so that we can support each other. Because I definitely feel that going forward, post-pandemic, we cannot be a superpower if half our population is sitting at home being khandani or being like having a parampara. There's nothing unsanskari about a woman being at work. There is nothing unkhandani about a woman going and exposing her talent. So I think that for me is important. And I'm really hoping that going forward, I'm positive that our youth is going to be the changing factor, and I'm really looking forward to ideas coming out. And I'm so excited that we're sharing this information and being able to share it with so many people, because I really hope that women can sort of talk more going forward.
Very well said, Mallika. And it's always, as Mahatma Gandhi ji says, be the change you wish to see. So it's high time all of us take the charge and support women. And when women support each other, miracles happen.
उसका
Well,
मजा ही कुछ और होता है जी.
का
Yeah.
मजा होता है. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mallika.